Digitalization is on a rise and it's transforming the world. Looking at the present circumstances, it wouldn't be unfair to say that it has introduced us to the things we normally wouldn't have imagined. But it's becoming the new normal now and it's slowly turning into a way of life. In fact, the COVID outbreak earlier last year also testifies to the statement on how digitalization or technology has taken over the world or is impacting the world or needs to take over. Welcome to Chandigarh University. This is Harkamal Singh Bajwa and today we have gathered here for a live session on youth's role in the digital era to make India a global superpower. Yes, this is the digital era and we are moving forward towards the modern times where digitalization has taken over. And joining within few moments will be IAS Sonal Goyal, the IAS who has been among the 2008 IAS batch, Niti Aayog's top 25 women transforming India. She's a motivational and TEDx speaker who has made quite a bit mark in the field of digitalization from the district level to the national level. And in a moment, she will be joining us in a while and will be addressing our today's agenda on digitalization and how it can influence India's positioning on a global level. So, while we wait for Ms. Sonal Goyal, let's get some questions from you guys. Are there any questions you would like to ask as we wait for IAS Sonal Goyal to join us? So kindly share your comments in the comment section so that we can join her as soon as possible and we can ask her questions, the questions you want to ask her. We are trying to communicate with IAS. We welcome you, ma'am, to Chandigarh University. We hope you are doing well.
Yeah, good evening. Just give me a moment.
Yes, sure, please.
Let me adjust my phone.
Right.
So, am I visible and audible clearly?
Yes, you are very audible, ma'am. If you can just get into the center of the frame, it would be nice. Yes, thank you so much.
I'll try, Auntie.
Right. So let's introduce our special
guest. You may actually start the session, no problem. I'll adjust my camera. You may meanwhile start. Yeah.
Right. So before we start, let's introduce a special guest for the session again. She's IAS Sonal Goyal. She graduated from the IAS in 2008. She's from the 2008 batch. She's been among top 25 women transforming India by Niti Aayog. She's a motivational speaker, a TEDx speaker, and she has made quite a bit mark in the field of digitalization from the district level to the national level. She's been a National Time Awardee for digitalization. I'm sorry. So, ma'am, let's start with you. So tell us about your journey. How has your journey been? Like you graduated from the IAS in 2008. And how has your journey been before the IAS, before clearing your IAS and after clearing your IAS?
Yeah. So good evening, namaskar to all the viewers, to all the young Indians who are associated with us today through the session. सभी को मेरा नमस्कार. So as you have mentioned about me, so yes, I belong to the Civil Services 2008 batch. And if I talk in brief about my journey, so I belong to the 2008 batch. And this idea of joining civil services came to me in 2003 when I was doing my graduation. So just to briefly mention that I was doing my graduation from Shri Ram College of Commerce, Delhi University. And I was also actually doing CS at that time. I was in my second stage. So I came across civil services and I kind of felt that it would give me an opportunity to serve the people and society. So I discussed this with my parents, and there were a lot of apprehensions because selection in civil services is never a sure shot thing, and there are there's a lot of competition, and even after selection, what rank I would get, what service I would get, and then after service, like which area I would have to serve in. So all these apprehensions came into the mind of my parents. But nevertheless, they supported my decision, and my father actually suggested me that I should have a plan B. So, for example, if I don't clear civil services, then what will I do in my career?
So
So
what
then
was your plan?
I thought of kind of, doing law. So I completed my graduation. I completed my CS in 2004. And in 2004, I appeared for LLB entrance from Delhi University. I did my enrollment there. I started my preparation for civil services in 2004. And I also started my job as part-time CS because I had already qualified. So I wanted to gain some work experience also and kind of finance my further higher studies. So from 2004 to 2007, these three things were simultaneously moving on in my life. So of course, the focus was to get into civil services. Then I was also
Right.
doing LLB, which was a regular course. And then, yes, this, doing my job as a CS. Of course, that was part time. And in my second attempt, I qualified for civil services. So my rank was All India 13th, and I got Manipur Tripura cadre. At that time, the cadre was joint, but I was allocated to Tripura state. I joined my state after training at Labasna, Mussoorie in June 2009. From June 2009 to say July 16, I have worked in Tripura. I have held various positions, mostly in field. So I have worked as SDM, I have worked as ADM, I have worked as the Agartala Municipal Council CEO. I have worked as DM and Collector Gomti. And after that, I came to Government of Haryana on inter-cadre deputation in July 16, and I have worked in Haryana for 4 years. So in Haryana, I have worked in Faridabad as the Corporation of Municipal Commissioner, as the Commissioner of the Municipal Corporation. Also, I worked as Administrator HSVP. I worked as Deputy Commissioner HHL. And also last year, I was posted in Gurugram. So like my say last 12 to 13 years of service in public life has been quite, challenging. At the same time, it has been a satisfying experience to the larger extent. And I have actually kind of learned a lot of things from my work, from interacting with the people, and in fact, working in two states. So there has been quite a good amount of learnings, which I would say I have received.
Yes, and another thing I would like to add key dreams do come true, but you got to have a plan B, and you exemplified that thing. That you must go for your dream, you should strive and work hard for your dream, but you should always have a backup plan in case the plan does not go as well as you plan. You should always have another plan. Right. So that was very inspirational, very guiding. I hope a student will take note from it. Like while you're focusing on your dreams or your career goals, make sure you have alternate plans so that when things go sideways, you don't have to look around or wander around, but rather you can focus on specific things like a special guest, special speaker for the guest session did. So now my next question to you, like let's talk about our today's agenda about digitalization. As we all know, digitalization in the present day world is everywhere, whether it's the public sector, it's a private sector, a government agency, a private agency, it's everywhere. So I want to know your take on digitalization in the present day world and how the youth can actually make an impact both for themselves and for their country.
Okay, so yes, very rightly you have mentioned that digitalization is here today everywhere, whether we are in government or whether we see private sector, or even for that matter, if we see the life of a school student today in India. So whether the student is, studying in a school or he or she is in a college, so even he or she is kind of having that digital impact, especially since last year the classes are being conducted online. So when we discuss about the topic, I would like to begin from saying that uh, we as young Indians, I mean, I still consider I'm part of the young India. So the future of our nation, or what we mean to say is that the way the future would be groomed, it actually depends on the way our young Indians today take a decision. So, so the future of humanity and the future of our planet per se depends on how our younger generation behaves and acts today. So for that matter, we have been seeing that, India has this demographic dividend in the sense that India is the youngest country in the world. So when we talk about India being the youngest country in the world, so it has the population of 15 to 45, which is the highest and which is considered to be productive. So that is highest in India at the world level. So therefore, we say India is the youngest country. And recently, India Skills Report, which was released in 2020, it says that the millennials contribute. So the millennials contribute 47% of the country's workforce. So the millennials contribute 47% of the country's workforce as of now. That was the India Skills Report.
Very huge number.
Yeah. So there is a comment that ma'am Hindi में भी बोलिए, so I'll try to mix both English and Hindi. I have no issue. दोनों languages में मैं बात करने की कोशिश करूंगी. So especially I would, in fact, I would like to mention that the young innovators, young entrepreneurs have shown their mettle in various fields. And I would herein directly come to few of the examples which we as part of administration have kind of noticed, especially during last year, especially during COVID-19. COVID-19, we have seen so many young people taking the innovations. Digital COVID-19 triage bots were invented by the young people. Remote mental health services, fighting misinformation. So all these kind of things came up from the younger people, and we have very important examples of kind of innovations by young people across the country. So I actually read somewhere that in Kerala, somebody invented a mask vending machine. So mask vending machine was invented by somebody, and this initiative was then supported under the Kerala Startup Mission, under the KSUM. Under KSUM, that initiative was supportive. Then IIT Bombay, students of IIT Bombay, they developed low-cost mechanical ventilators. So IIT Bombay के students ने low-cost mechanical ventilators की invention की, and similar initiatives were in fact taken across the country. So this I talked about COVID-19, but if we go beyond, in fact, COVID-19 pandemic response mechanism, even last year we all witnessed that our Honorable Prime Minister launched Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan. So Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan has five, major pillars. Five pillars जो उन्होंने बोला: economy, infrastructure, technology driven system, vibrant demography, and demand. So when we're talking about these five pillars, so he's very specifically mentioning about technology driven systems, and he's also talking about vibrant demography. So both these pillars actually relate directly, indirectly to the younger generation, to the young people. And under Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan only, Honorable Prime Minister launched Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan Innovation Challenge. And Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan में उन्होंने एक specific initiative launch किया, App Innovation Challenge. So Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan App Innovation Challenge, in which students, young people from various parts of the country participated. One very important initiative was recognized and felicitated at national level, which was Kutuki Kids Learning App. So Kutuki Kids Learning App was an app developed in which kids can learn subjects like maths and science. They can, learn songs, they can learn various activities and games. Somebody invented Prithvi. Prithvi was a robot which group of teenagers based in Delhi they invented.
And
Similarly,
if I
yeah,
may add, Chandigarh University students as well, they have been like giving starts to some of the fastest growing startups across the country, and about the ideas like you just mentioned, innovative ideas. Chandigarh University students, the ones joining us, will also be feeling proud, and I would also like to share it with you, ma'am, that Chandigarh University has the Government of India's record holder for the highest number of filing of patents. It's number one. It's currently ranked number one in the country for filing the highest number of patents. So, like you said, innovation and ideas and getting them to register through the government or specific regulatory bodies is
yeah,
must.
yeah. Yeah, so similarly, there is the way you are mentioning about the startups, there is also this Atal Innovation Mission. So, Atal Innovation Mission has been initiated by Niti Aayog. I would request that you all go through the guidelines of the Atal Innovation Mission also, and under that mission, Government of India is also actually supporting the innovations and the entrepreneurs who are willing to do something new. So I read somewhere that in Bangalore students innovated some filters. So there are very various examples if we look across how the technology, how the digital interventions across the country are being initiated by the young Indians. There are various examples. Similarly, I would like to mention, because we are talking about the digitalization, I would also mention about little bit about the digital initiatives which are being taken under government. We all have heard about digital governance. We all have been hearing about e-governance. So e-governance को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए, गुड गवर्नेंस को इंश्योर करने के लिए, और हमारे जो C2G कनेक्ट है या G2C कनेक्ट है, गवर्नमेंट टू सिटीजन एंड सिटीजन टू गवर्नमेंट जो कनेक्ट है, उसमें ट्रांसपेरेंसी लाने के लिए वेरियस स्टेट गवर्नमेंट्स और सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट्स के लेवल पे बहुत सारे इनिशिएटिव्स लिए जा रहे हैं. तो चाहे हम आधार कार्ड की बात करें, चाहे हम माई गव इनिशिएटिव की बात करें, चाहे हम उमंग ऐप की बात करें, चाहे हम डिजिटल लॉकर की बात करें, चाहे हम लैंड रिकॉर्ड्स कंप्यूटराइजेशन की बात करें, सो ऑल दीज आर काइंड ऑफ इनिशिएटिव्स व्हिच हैव बीन टेकन एट स्टेट एंड सेंट्रल लेवल. बहुत सारे स्टेट स्पेसिफिक इनिशिएटिव्स भी हैं, जैसे हरियाणा के अंदर ही सरल प्रोजेक्ट को लॉन्च किया गया, अंत्योदय सरल केंद्र खोले गए, अटल सेवा केंद्र खोले गए, विच आर एक्टिंग एज सिटीजन फैसिलिटेशन सेंटर्स. एंड द मेन आइडिया इज कि जो कनेक्ट है बिटवीन सिटीजन टू गवर्नमेंट वो ऑनलाइन हो. तो इस तरीके के जो इनिशिएटिव्स हैं, दे आर वेरी मच वेलकम. रिसेंटली वी सॉ ऑनरेबल यूनियन फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर प्रेजेंटेड द यूनियन बजट in a digital form. So that was the first time digital budget which was presented. And हमने last कुछ months में देखा that government is actually focusing on making the departments also paperless, making the department faceless. Income tax department went faceless recently 2 to 3 months back. So especially during COVID-19, चाहे वो government sector हो चाहे private sector हो, we have understood the importance of these kind of digital interventions. At that time, actually, I was working in Gurugram as additional CO GMDA and CEO of the city bus. हमारे यहाँ पे already e-office था, तो हम during COVID actually our work was not suffered due to non-movement of files, क्योंकि कुछ time offices में dislocation था, physically file move करने में problem था. तो since our work was already on e-office, so we did not face major issue. And now government of Haryana has attempted that all the offices should be shifted on this kind of e-office mechanism. और ये सिर्फ हरियाणा ही नहीं, बहुत सारी स्टेट्स में अब इस तरीके के इनिशिएटिव लिए जा रहे हैं टू मेक द फाइल मूवमेंट कंप्लीटली ऑनलाइन. सो ये जो मैंने इसलिए बताया ये चीज कि यंग इंडियंस को जो इनिशिएटिव्स गवर्नमेंट के अंदर लिए जा रहे हैं, इनकी भी नॉलेज होनी चाहिए. And there are also all these programs, you also can be a part and you also can also contribute whenever you are in such a position, because किसी भी गवर्नमेंट प्रोग्राम की इनिशिएटिव को इम्प्लीमेंट करने में वी नीड कम्युनिटी पार्टिसिपेशन एंड कम्युनिटी मोबिलाइजेशन. So if
जी
that kind of connect is established, then it becomes even more easier for government to implement the program. One very
right
important aspect also I would like to, when we're talking about the digital initiatives, I would also like to talk about social media. जो आज जो इतना advent हो गया है social media का, the way it
जी
has come to affect our lives, it I would say it has both positive as well as kind of a negative fallouts. Positive ये है that we are kind of connected all throughout the country, we are connected all throughout the world, whether it is Twitter, whether it is Facebook or Instagram, LinkedIn, or किसी भी तरीके का YouTube है. So these all platforms are very good medium for sharing information, for sharing हमारा knowledge and learning. Online learning platforms बहुत available हैं. Similarly, you kind of get very good educational content. We have seen now कि अगर कोई सिविल सर्विसेज की ही तैयारी कोई स्टूडेंट करना चाहता है तो उसके लिए बहुत सारा अच्छा अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन अवेलेबल है, एजुकेशनल कंटेंट इज अवेलेबल. And sometimes as part of administration I have felt that it also helps us in reaching out to public if there are some kind of urgent situations, especially COVID-19 may, like through my own Twitter account I was able to help out to the people, because जैसे जब migrant laborers का issue आया, so there were people from various parts of the country stuck up in Gurugram. So people from Bihar, from Orissa, they kind of approached to me or my office through Twitter, through even email or Facebook, and they mentioned कि इन लोगों को मदद की जरूरत है. And the response mechanism, in such cases is even more faster than the routine kind of things कि जिसमें आपको कहीं से information आ रही है फिर आप उसको verify कर रहे हो, because they share the contact number also and you immediately respond. So इस तरीके का crisis communication, crisis management, sharing of information, sharing of good practices, sharing what government is doing. जैसे government के जितने flagship programs हैं, बेटी बचाओ बेटी पढ़ाओ, स्वच्छ भारत मिशन, Jal Shakti Abhiyan, all these ministries are sharing on a daily basis the initiatives they are taking up, how citizens can contribute, how they can take benefit. तो ये सब
जी
इंफॉर्मेशन अवेलेबल है. लेकिन फॉल आउट की अगर हम बात करें तो एक फॉल आउट ये भी है कि समटाइम्स यू टेंड टू डिवोट मोर टाइम, जो कि शायद सोशल मीडिया में उतना हमें इस लेवल पे नहीं करना चाहिए. सेकेंडली देर आर वेरी फ्यू चेक्स अवेलेबल as of now at various platforms. Twitter पे I post something, actually I have no control what the other person can write because it's an open
exactly
platform. People
right
can write anything. People can tag me and they can write anything. Sometimes, we have seen that people start hate campaigns. People start kind of, starting spreading misinformation,
I
fake
get
news.
you how social media can
So,
be both a boon and a bane for the people. Like for
so
spreading misinformation, it can be a very big source. So
yeah,
now, in a nutshell, as you said, how social media can be both pro and con. You shared of social media, and apart from that, you mentioned how it's been an awakening for the people. Like the world has become a global village. It's a smaller community. The connecting with people is easier now. And on the digitalization, you also mentioned the government's initiatives and a very important fact that one should knowledge themselves, one should empower themselves with knowledge because
yeah,
knowledge is important and having knowledge of initiatives that are being taken is important to be a part of them because if
yeah.
you want to be a part of something, you got to know about it first. So I thank you for sharing some very insightful things. Next, if we talk about your IS, civil services, like many of the students have been asking in the comment section about civil services, you were in the 2008 batch and we are now in 2021. So how much of a difference do you see in civil services or in their preparation? Like what was the scenario in 2008? Because for such examinations, students study so deeply that they have to grasp everything they can so that they can appear for this ultimate test and clear and be an officer like you are. So it was 2008 when internet or social media were just were just incoming, and it's 2021 that internet or social media or digitalization is on its peak. So, as far as civil services are concerned, can you give us your take on the difference between 2008 and 2021, or let's say 2020?
Actually, I would put it like this, ki the exam was difficult even in 2008 and it remains difficult even today. You know, the way you prepare, basically it depends on your own self study kind, you know, how you keep yourself motivated. Whether you like to study in groups, whether you like to do self study, whether you like to go for a coaching, that is a decision which one has to take. लेकिन अगर हम बात करें कि exposure, you know, so when I'm talking about 2008, so I started preparation in 2004-5, तो उससे लेके अब तक लाइक 15 साल के लगभग हो गए. सो उससे लेके अब तक जो है इंफॉर्मेशन फ्लो आई वुड से हैज इंक्रीज्ड एंड नाउ लॉट ऑफ मटेरियल इज अवेलेबल ऑनलाइन. सो नाउ व्हाट इज इम्पोर्टेंट इज कि हमें केयरफुली चूज भी करें कि क्या हमारे लिए रेलिवेंट है और क्या रेलिवेंट नहीं है. Not everything
Right.
which is available online, not every video which is available on YouTube might be important or might be relevant for the examination. सो ये जो इन्फॉर्मेशन ओवरलोड है, इससे भी हमको ध्यान में रखते हुए इसको रिड्यूस करना है, अपने टाइम को ऑप्टिमाइज करना है. So when you're talking about civil services preparation, you know, the key remains the same, that you have to remain focused. और जो आपका प्रिपरेशन टाइम है, आई वुड से दैट मिनिमम 2 years का रिक्वायरमेंट रहता ही रहता है. सो 1 year इज बिफोर द एग्जामिनेशन एंड 1 year इज प्रीलिम्स से लेके इंटरव्यू तक. तो प्रीलिम्स से लेके इंटरव्यू जो 3 स्टेजेस हैं उसमें 1 साल कंज्यूम होता है, और उससे 1 साल पहले आपको प्रिपरेशन देना ही पड़ेगा, अपना टाइम इतना इन्वेस्ट करना ही पड़ेगा. So this is the entire timeline which you have to go give to yourself. Of course, आप इससे ज़्यादा भी दे सकते हैं if you start, you know, preparation during your school time or during your graduation. या अगर आप, you know, if you are working, तो आपको उसको भी ध्यान में रखते हुए कि आप कितना टाइम इसमें दे पाएंगे. बट मिनिमम आई वुड से दैट डेडिकेशन and 8 to 10 hours of focus study is very much required for 2 years for civil services preparation. तो इतना टाइम आपको लगना रहना है. तो प्रिपरेशन चाहे आप पहले करें बाद में करें, आप कब फोकस करके दे पाएंगे ये आपको डिसाइड करके इस एग्जाम की तैयारी के लिए जाना चाहिए.
Right. So one final question I want to ask you: what should the students, like we talked about it, how digitalization is taking over the world and how it's affecting, it's becoming a way of life for people, for the societies, for the government, private, public sector, for everyone. And you yourself, from the civil services background, you also have won many digital awards like Digital India Award, National Award for National Digital India Award, District Collector Digital Champion Award. So, like this, you have won many awards. So, as we move forward with the time, you being a civil servant and with digitalization on the rise, can you sum it up in a nutshell? How should the youth choose to pursue their life, like their careers or their career goals in whatever they're doing? How should they do it with digitalization on a rise?
So, you know, one thing is very important, that you have to kind of analyze your own self and understand what is the thing which you want in life. So, आपका इंटरेस्ट कहाँ पे है, आपको उस इंटरेस्ट को आइडेंटिफाई करना है. इट नीड नॉट बी इन अ काइंड ऑफ अ, यू नो, गवर्नमेंट सेक्टर. इट मे बी यू मे लाइक टू गो फॉर प्राइवेट सेक्टर, या आप अपना कोई बिजनेस भी सेटअप करना चाहते हैं, या आप एनजीओ खोल भी सकते हैं, या आप टीचिंग प्रोफेशन में जाना चाहते हैं. So first and foremost, I would like to, you know, kind of mention that whatever thing you choose, listen to your own self and also discuss with your parents, to the people who matter in your life. तो जिन लोगों को आपके एक्शन से इम्पैक्ट पड़ेगा और जिनके एक्शन से आपको इम्पैक्ट पड़ता है इमीडिएटली, उनसे डिस्कस करके you know you take your decision. Once you are deciding, तो you know, if we talk about especially digital initiatives, so government में भी जैसे मैंने initially बताया that there are various, you know, innovation which are coming up in the government also, and of course there are various kind of innovations being taken up at the individual level, at, you know, various startups are coming. So India में even central government और state government जो है, वो अलग अलग मिशंस के अंतर्गत इनको सपोर्ट भी कर रही है. So whether we are talking about the Make in India, whether we are talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan, in Atmanirbhar Bharat Abhiyan there is a focus on vocal for local, whether we are talking about Atal Innovation Mission. So इस तरीके के जितने भी initiatives हैं, they are actually focusing on digital initiatives, and the main purpose is that you promote innovation. So आप जो भी decide करें, you try to kind of give your 100%. And we as young people, we are the powerhouse of energy. And जो talent और जो energy young जनरेशन के पास है, यंगर जनरेशन के पास है, दैट इज इनकम्पेरेबल, दैट वी कैन नॉट कंपेयर टू एनी अदर एज ग्रुप. एंड दिस आई एम सेइंग irrespective of the gender. So I'm talking for both males and females. I am not talking for any gender. So you are the torch bearers, So empowering, engaging, and enriching the young talent. Since you are, I think, on behalf of university, आप भी present हैं. तो इवन यूनिवर्सिटीज भी और जो एजुकेशनल इंस्टीट्यूशंस हैं उनसे भी हमारी रिक्वेस्ट रहती है एज पार्ट ऑफ गवर्नमेंट दैट ये जितना भी बच्चे दिस काइंड ऑफ इनोवेशंस अपनी ड्यूरिंग देयर स्टडीज भी कर रहे हैं, उसको हम पब्लिश करें, उनको हम शेयर करें, उसको हम एनकरेज करें. So it is very important to recognize the talent which is existing amongst us, among the students. So we need to empower, we need to engage, and we need to enrich the young talent. तो ये यूनिवर्सिटीज के ऊपर भी निर्भर करता है that they are kind of engaging with them, they are kind of enriching their talent, और उनके साथ में जो है उनको फर्दर अपॉर्चुनिटीज क्या हो सकती हैं वो दैट काइंड ऑफ करियर गाइडेंस एंड काउंसलिंग भी वो कोशिश करके कराएं. सो आई थिंक दैट would be even more better. And of course ideas बहुत हैं, it is up to us that how we take it. And in the last I am reminded of मैं डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम जी को भी पढ़ा मैंने, and I have read some short story write-ups by स्वामी विवेकानंदा जी. तो डॉक्टर एपीजे अब्दुल कलाम जी ने हमेशा यंग इंडिया के बारे में बात की, और उन्होंने ये हमेशा बोला ड्रीम ड्रीम एंड ड्रीम. सो इफ यू ड्रीम देन यू विल अचीव. And DREAM is an acronym which I actually, expand as, I spell as diligence, resilience, energy, ambition, motivation. Diligence, resilience, energy, ambition, motivation. तो ये जो 5 कंपोनेंट्स हैं जो ड्रीम कंस्टिट्यूट करती हैं, ये सारी हम यंग लोगों के अंदर हैं, ये सब हम यंग इंडियंस के अंदर हैं. तो इफ वी डिसाइड वी कैन ऑलवेज अचीव. And as Swami Vivekananda ji had said that arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is achieved. So arise, awake, and stop not until the goal is achieved. तो हम इसको कोशिश करें. And and the last thing from my side कि whatever profession or career you choose, how do we contribute to the society? How do we contribute towards nation building? It is very important to keep in mind. So I always say that try and align your social responsibility with nation building. सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी जो भी हम कर सकते हैं, चाहे वो एनवायरनमेंट को सेव करना हो, चाहे वो किसी पुअर को मदद करना हो, चाहे वो एम्पावरिंग वुमेन हो, चाहे विमेन की रिस्पेक्ट की बात हो, चाहे वो एजुकेटिंग द गर्ल चाइल्ड है, या एनी काइंड ऑफ सोशल रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी यू डू, you help the people and you empower the people around you. That is very important. And we all should learn from each other. We should all kind of help each other to the extent we can. Thank you.
And those were some really very insightful and important and crucial points put forward by IS Sonal Goyal. Like you said, the youth are the torch bearers and they must empower, engage, and enrich themselves with knowledge, opportunities, and with their talent so that they can move forward and take the country forward as well. And in the end, you added another beautiful thing, that a youth, that a young person, whether it's a male, female, or someone from the LGBT, should align their social responsibilities with the country, like help other people who cannot help themselves, be the voice of the voiceless, and all that, to like for the country to move forward on a collective goal. So this was IAS Sonal Goyal, who highlighted some crucial aspects and presented valuable insights in this educational and motivational session. Chandigarh University passes on its vote of thanks to IAS Sonal Goyal for sharing her valuable time and intellect, and we hope you enjoyed our session and found it very motivating and insightful. With this live session coming to an end, we'll meet you again with a new agenda and distinguished speaker who will help you acquaint with prominent issues, challenges, opportunities, and knowledge. Until then, stay connected with Chandigarh University.
Thank you so much.